Welcome you all. In today's lecture, we are going to study the classification of solids on the basis of band theory. Alright. So before we start classification, we must know the concept of energy bands. In previous lecture, we have already discussed how the band formation takes place. Now, as we know, two bands, energy bands are important for us, and these two energy bands are valence band and conduction band. So let me discuss what is meant by valence band and conduction band first. So here I have drawn diagram. You can see this lower energy band, which is shown in blue color. So energy bands are formed due to splitting of energy levels. So it is a closely packed group of energy levels. So the energy band which is formed due to splitting of valence energy level or valence shell, that energy band is called as the valence band. So this lower one is valence band, upper one is conduction band. So what is meant by valence band? So we can say that here valence band is the energy band which contains only valence electrons. The energy band which contains valence electrons is called as the valence band. Now, these valence electrons are bounded with the nucleus. That's why they are not free for the electrical conduction, and hence valence electrons present in a valence band cannot participate in the process of electrical conduction. Then this valence band is either partially filled or it is completely filled. Either it is partially filled or completely filled, but it is never empty, as it is a valence shell, or it is formed due to the splitting of valence shell, and valence shell always contains electrons, and that's why it can never be empty. Then conduction band. Next concept is conduction band. So conduction band means what? The energy band which is just above the valence band. Energy band which is just above the valence band is called as the conduction band. Or in other words, we can say that the energy band which contains conduction electrons. Conduction electrons means free electrons. That energy band is called as the conduction band. Now, this conduction band is either empty or partially filled, but it can never be completely filled. Means it contains some energy levels which are empty or unoccupied. So it can never be completely filled. And as it contains free electrons, conduction band contains free electrons, so they can move freely inside the solid, and that's why electrical conduction is possible. So what may be the electrons present in conduction band, they are responsible for the electrical conduction, and that's why it is essential for electrical conduction that electrons must be present in a conduction band. Then next concept is of energy gap. So here you can see this is the energy axis. So along this axis energy goes on increasing. So for valence band we have considered energy is EV, and for conduction band energy is considered to be EC. So EV, energy of valence band, is less as compared to EC. EC is more. So there is a gap of energy between valence band and conduction band. So that gap of energy is called as the energy gap. So what is meant by energy gap? It is a gap of energy between valence band and conduction band, or the difference in energy between top of the valence band and bottom of the conduction band is called as the energy gap. Energy gap is denoted by Eg. It is measured in electron volt. As it is energy, it is measured in electron volt. And this energy gap Eg is temperature dependent. It depends on the temperature. And relation is that energy gap Eg is inversely proportional to the temperature. Means as the temperature increases, this energy gap goes on decreasing. So this is a concept of valence band, conduction band and energy gap. Now we have to study the concept of hole, bound electron and free electron. As we know, valence electrons are the electrons which are present in a outermost orbit. As they are present in a outermost orbit, it means they are bounded with the nucleus. For example, let me consider any example for silicon. In case of silicon, atomic number is 14. So its first orbit contains 2 electrons. Then its second orbit contains 8 electrons and its third orbit will contain 4 electrons. So these 4 electrons are the valence electrons, and these electrons are bound electrons because they are not free to move inside the solid, because they are bounded with the nucleus. Now if we supply some external energy here, if the external energy is supplied to this electron, then that electron becomes free. That electron will become free from this atom, and now this electron is called as the free electron. Now this electron can move freely inside the solid from one place to another place, and that's why this is called as free electron or conduction electron. So this is the concept of bound electron. Bound electrons means which is bounded with the nucleus, which cannot move from one atom to another atom. That is bound electron. And these electrons are present in a valence band. Such type of bound electrons, they are present in a valence band, which is either partially filled or completely filled. Here we can show this is a valence band, and it contains large number of free electrons. So large number of free electrons are available here, you can see. So these are the free electrons, right? These are the bound electrons. As these electrons are bounded with the nucleus, that's why all these electrons are bound electrons. And now even though these electrons are present, they cannot participate in the process of electrical conduction. Now if some external energy is supplied, how much energy is required to reach from valence band to conduction band? That is the difference of energy between conduction band and energy of the valence band. That difference is Eg, energy gap. If that much amount of energy is supplied to these electrons which are present in valence band, then that electron will make transition. So from here, this electron will make transition, and that electron will reach in a conduction band. As soon as that electron reaches in a conduction band, now it becomes free. This process is similar to this one. Here electron is present in valence band means it is present in outermost orbit. It is bounded with the nucleus. Now external energy is supplied, and that energy is equal to Eg. Therefore electron from valence band reaches to the conduction band, means it becomes free, and that's why this electron is a free electron or a conduction electron, and now it can participate in the process of electrical conduction. But at the same time, what will happen here, when electron jumps from valence band to conduction band, then there exists a vacancy. There exists a vacancy. And this is a vacancy of electron. This is the vacancy of electron, means vacancy of negative charge. And vacancy of negative charge acts as a positive charge. And this deficiency or vacancy of electron which is created in valence band is called as the hole. The vacancy of electron or deficiency of electron created or generated in a valence band is called as the hole. So holes are always present in a valence band. Holes are always present in valence band, while free electrons are always present in conduction band, and both are responsible for the electrical conduction in semiconductors. In semiconductors, conduction is due to free electrons as well as it is due to the holes. So, hole, that concept is a pseudo concept. Actually, hole doesn't exist. Hole means it is not a actual charged particle which is present. Like a proton. Proton is a positively charged particle, it is known to us, but hole is not as such a positively charged particle. Simply it is a vacancy. So that vacancy of electron is called as the hole. Even though it is a pseudo concept, but that vacancy is responsible for the motion of the electrons, because if this vacancy is not there, then electron from other atom cannot move to this side. If all these energy states are occupied, then there is no site present for the motion of the electron inside the valence band. But when there exists a vacancy, that is hole, then there is a possibility that electron from the neighboring atom now may shifted to this hole, and in this way the movement of the electrons, actually movement of electrons will take place inside the valence band, but it is because of the hole which is present, and that's why we can say that hole is responsible for the electrical conduction. And in this way, in semiconductors, conduction is due to electrons as well as the holes. So this is a concept of what is meant by bound electron, what is meant by free electron, and what is meant by hole. Now we have to study classification of solids on the basis of band gap or energy gap. So on the basis of energy gap, whether that energy gap is small, it is moderate, or it is very large, solids are classified into three classes, and these are conductor, insulator, and semiconductor. So it depends on the energy gap. So let me discuss one by one. What is meant by conductor? Conductor are the solids in which energy gap is either very small or it is equal to 0. Now, what is the meaning of energy gap is equal to 0? So, for that, let me see this diagram. In this case, here you can see this lower band is the valence band. Width of this valence band is from this layer to this one. This is the width of the valence band. While upper band is the conduction band, and its width is from this point to this one. Now, this central region, in this central region you can see the conduction band and valence band overlaps with each other, and because of the overlapping, some of the energy states which are present in valence band, these states are common to the conduction band, and that's why electrons present in valence band are now available with the conduction band, and that's why conduction is possible, and such solids are called as the conductors. So this is energy band diagram for the conductors. So here Eg is equal to 0, but there may be the possibility that Eg is not equal to 0. There is not overlapping of the energy bands. Means there exists energy band, but that energy band is very small. Very small means it is about less than 0.5 electron volt. So either energy gap is 0 or it is less than 0.5 electron volt. Then such solids are conductors. And here in this case valence band is filled, conduction band is also partially filled. It cannot be empty because as it is a conductor, so it contains conduction electrons, and because of the overlapping or small energy gap, electrons can be easily available in a conduction band, and that's why it acts as a conductor. And examples are copper, silver, gold, aluminium. These are the examples of a conductor. All metals, as we know, all metals are good conductors of electricity. So examples of metals are the examples of conductors. Then next is insulator. So insulators are the solids in which energy gap is very large. Very large means energy gap Eg is approximately greater than 3 electron volt. There is not an exact distinction or what we can say differentiation that above this value materials are insulators and above this one they are semiconductors. Not exactly. So approximately we can say that if energy gap is more than 3 electron volt, means it is large one, then such solids are called as the insulators. Now in case of insulators, this is the band diagram. You can see lower band is the valence band, again upper band is the conduction band, and they are separated by a large energy gap. Here I have shown energy gap is approximately 7 electron volt, and that's why this is the band diagram of the insulator. Now here valence band is completely filled. It contains valence electrons, but they cannot participate in conduction, and conduction band is empty. Conduction band is empty, valence band is filled. Now if you supply the external energy, then these electrons will get thermal energy, but that energy is not sufficient to cross the energy gap because energy gap is very large, and that's why electrons cannot reach to the conduction band, and hence conduction is not possible, and such solids are called as the insulators. And its example is, best example is a diamond. Diamond is an example of a insulator. In case of diamond, that energy gap is approximately 7 electron volt, and wood is also an example of a insulator. Plastic is an example of a insulator. So these are the examples of insulators. And now third one, that is the semiconductor. So semiconductor means its energy gap is intermediate between that of a conductor and a insulator. So semiconductors are the solids in which energy gap is small. Small means what? It is greater than the conductor, but it is less than the insulators. And that's why we can write Eg is small means now for conductors it is 0.5 electron volt. So if energy gap is above 0.5 electron volt, then we can say these are the semiconductors, or it is less than 2 electron volt. If it is less than 2 electron volt, so energy gap lies between 0.5 electron volt to 2 electron volt, then such solids are called as the semiconductors. So energy diagram for the, or band diagram for the semiconductors is as shown in figure. Here lower band is again valence band, upper band is the conduction band. Now they are separated. In this case valence band is filled either completely or partially, while conduction band is completely empty, and energy gap is very small. Here I have shown it is approximately 1 electron volt. Now at absolute zero temperature, absolute zero means T is equal to 0 Kelvin, what will happen? Electrons are available in a valence band. Electrons are available in valence band, but they cannot participate in electrical conduction. Now, temperature is 0, that's why no thermal energy is provided. As there is no thermal energy available for the electron, they cannot make transition from valence band to conduction band. And as electrons cannot reach to the conduction band, and conduction band is already empty, so no free electrons are available for electrical conduction, and that's why at absolute zero temperature, semiconductors acts as a insulator. Now, what will be the situation at room temperature? Now temperature is increased to the room temperature, so electrons will get thermal energy, and as energy gap is small as compared to the insulator, that's why this thermal energy is sufficient for the electrons to make transition from valence band to conduction band. So electrons in valence band will absorb that energy or gain that energy, and they will reach to the conduction band, and hence now electrons are available in conduction band for conduction, and that's why conduction will take place, and at room temperature it behaves like a conductor. So at absolute zero temperature this material is insulator, at room temperature it acts as a conductor, and that's why as its properties are intermediate between that conductor and insulator, they are called as the semiconductor. And best examples of a semiconductor are silicon and germanium. Silicon, for which energy gap is 1.1 electron volt. So these values should be known to us. For silicon, energy gap is 1.1 electron volt, and for germanium it is 0.7 electron volt. You can see both these values lies between 0.5 to 2 electron volt, and that's why they are the semiconductors. So this is a classification of solids on the basis of band theory or energy gap.